always gotta show off with my earrings. Let's put the earrings away. Yeah, that's better. Sorry, my eyes are tired, so I don't really want to stay that focused. The sunshine in my silken hair. Okay, so it's been a minute because I had a baby, and most days I am in my robe or pajamas, and it's not that I wouldn't make a video like that, but especially when it's been a long time since I've made a face talking video. I don't really want to make my next impression as a pajama clad makeupless mother. Maybe it's just the way my mom raised me. She's like always over my shoulder in a bubble saying, put yourself together. So I have something to share with you guys. My brother-in-law, Stetson, who watches this channel and is just the coolest, he was recently helping some of his family clean out some space. He stumbled across a bunch of art supplies and he asked me if I wanted them. And of course I was like, heck yeah. You know, always, if you find art supplies, always. Most of them are like barely used, but I wanted to share and do a video. I think a lot of us had this one, but it is a bunch of, it's like barely been touched, but it's all the markers and then the colored pencils and then crayons, and we have white paint and some watercolor. I was thinking that I would go ahead and take this instead of, you know, saving it for my nieces or something. I'm actually pretty sure I had this one as a kid, but I am all the same going to take this art kit and I'm going to make something with it today. It's just the fun stuff, like as a kid you get this and you're like, the world is full of possibilities. Like I could make anything I want when just coloring was a thing. I know there are adult coloring books, but I think that's a whole different thing. When you are a kid and you're just like, I just want to color. I just want to draw pictures of robots and my mom as a big circle and color it in. Like I miss that purity of childhood and just thinking everything you do is phenomenal. Let's go, man. Allow me to take you back to your childhood. I'm sure your school had one of these. I was homeschooled for a long time. Crayons, paints, pastels, pencils, and markers. Everything a growing artist needs. There's a few things that I want to try out, but I think what I want to do today is layer. I want to use a little bit of everything. I did forget there were some pencils over here. And I think that may be the one thing that we're missing. That and this, oh no, that's a... I definitely thought that was empty, but it just had a charcoal pencil in it. Or maybe that's a regular pencil. I'm gonna sharpen it and find out. Indeed, it is a regular pencil. So we've got something to do our sketching with. I have a feeling that the eraser used to be there, so I'll just use my regular kneaded eraser. Oh no, that was a... whatever that's called. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to start with a sketch and then I'm going to watercolor it, and then I'm going to use a variety of the rest of everything to layer and complete the work. So let's get started. Oh, nice. Oh, wait. All right, so the palette is like in there. I have to have this whole thing open the whole time, which is a little bit less ideal. We are going to go back to my Five Below, and I'm not going to bother swatching anything. Oh no, did my computer freeze? Just my stinky little mouse died.
For this drawing, I was using a reference photo of a girl who's got this like mushroom fairy thing going on, specifically with her hat and makeup. She made her nose and around her eyelids kind of like pinkish red, and then painted white spots on her face, and then also white spots on her red felt hat. So I wanted to kind of stay true to that because I thought it was a really interesting look. She is also wearing a bluish gray shawl, and behind her was a tent curtain and some trees, but I wish I had taken a few more liberties and just drawn her a different outfit and a different background, honestly. But oh well, you know, it is what it is. Typically when I draw faces, I'm not super technical. I'm a big believer in learning techniques first, but then figuring out what works best for you. So for me, I like to draw the general head shape very lightly so that I can place the facial features, but once I've got those in place, I refine the head shape and go from there. So it's not a right or a wrong, it's just how I like to do it. I also decided to shade the sketch before painting because I really like the dimension that that can add in a watercolor painting, and overall I was fairly pleased with my sketch.
Naturally, I am scared that I'm just gonna ruin the whole thing, but oh well. We're going in with our Artist Loft round brush. Honestly, it seems pretty nice. Like, it's holding its point, it's nice and thick, it's, you know, flexible enough, all that. So I'm not too worried that this isn't going to work the paint well. I'm honestly more worried that the paint is just not going to spread very nicely. So I'm gonna try mixing some colors up. We're definitely going to start on a low risk area. I am not going to worry about making it like super precise or anything. I mean, you've probably already picked up on that. First of all, that's not my style, but secondly, I think with any kind of like, anytime you're using cheaper stuff as well, like, you just gotta kind of hold it with a loose hand, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. Honestly, so far so good. I am pretty impressed with these paints. I would say they genuinely are doing much better than the paints at Five Below did that one time. The paints from Five Below. In the single cheap art supply challenge video I've done. So take that for what you will. The weird thing about these paints that is happening is that they're kind of like gelling up. They're starting as powder, but then they're like turning kind of gooey. So her hat is messy, but I think that's actually pretty good considering what we're working with. So I'm going to move on to her skin, and for this I'm going to take mostly brown, a tiny bit of yellow ochre, but I'm really just going to like water it down a lot because she is not super dark at all. Okay, I'm also using the pink, I guess. Oh gosh. All right, we got this. We're using really dirty water too though, so that's not really helping me. Oh gracious day. Okay. All right, I think we're just gonna go over the whole face. And then we'll refine it in a moment. Okay. Could be worse. Has been worse. So I'm picking up right now just with a dry brush, trying to create some borders, which, you know, the dry brush technique is especially helpful if you've got a really good point on your brush. It's got this pretty red hair, so we're going to take our orange and our ochre and a little bit of brown, a little more of that bright red. And we're just gonna go in for right now. I guess this is really where doing the pencil first is very helpful. especially if you're willing to like leave it in stylistically and kind of have that messier look, but it also actually ends up defining it a lot more. I can see how chalky some of the paints are. It's also nice to be able to reactivate them with water, but I feel like if I were like full on working on this and trying to use these in like a proper project, that would be kind of frustrating because they will activate when you don't necessarily want them to. So I think that is it for our watercolor phase. So we're gonna put a little lid. I think I'm gonna use this black pencil to kind of line out, and definitely, oh my gosh, wow, that is very chalky. She has all these little speckled dots. Oh no, is that not gonna show up? I'll have to use the white paint later. Okay, that's fine. So we're gonna go ahead and line her eyes. Not my best, but honestly not my worst. Okay, see, that's part of why I'm confused, I think. I am not used to colored pencils being this chalky. Definitely going on nicely. I don't know, it's like weird. With this, I'm really just trying to add in a little bit more of that orange hue of her hair. But I'm not being too specific, as you can see. At least one of the last things on this layer is I think I'm gonna go ahead and do her glasses. Yeah, I shouldn't be able to do that with colored pencil. I wonder how much of it too is just that they're old, you know? So what can you do? I think we should do markers before we do anything waxy, like the crayons and the oil pastels, because those will probably make the markers resist, because markers tend to be water-based. Swashes on. So one pro tip for water-based markers is pretty much if you're getting like a scratchy line like that, you can just dip it in water and yeah, it'll come back because it's just the nib and it's water-based. Don't know how much I'm gonna do here, but maybe we will try giving her sweater some texture, and that will also kind of let you know like how it's being stretched, because it's actually like a little shawl. She's like pulling tight around her. Oh my gosh, that is the bluest green. I am glad I didn't go straight on the page. Look at that. Wow. How about we use that actually to line her little jacket thing. Ooh, I like that effect. I really like sometimes just the look of kind of the scribble. I love what that can add to a piece. I think we're gonna move on to crayons now and oil pastels. I'm gonna do some oil, just some little bits and bobs. Try and add some dimension, I guess. Oh boy, if this ain't just making it up as you go. Some of them are turning brown, baby. Okay, I'm gonna come in with this white crayon, and it kind of feels exactly like the white pencil. Let's try some brown, because we really need to darken these shadows. Gosh, Gosh, I really hate her sweater now, actually. Can I just color in? Might be better. Very few of these whites are like really working, so I am going to grab the white paint so that she can get all of her little dots. I have no idea how old this paint is, so... Oh wow. Can you see that? Look how crusty that is. Let's pretend I didn't do that. I know that wouldn't work. But I don't think that's coming out. It's not from that direction, but can just do this. Wow. Wonder if I could just activate it with a little water. Alright, let's try this. No. Also, this brush kinda sucks, but... So, we've cut our brush. This is also from the... I think this is from the Art Loft. Staying true with the kits and all that. I can confidently say I will not be using this brush again, and I am probably going to throw it away. So while there are certainly other things that I would like to add and wish I could maybe go back and do differently, I am generally pretty pleased with how this turned out. It's it's not ideal by any means, but it was a fun time. So what do you guys think? I am actually, for what I was working with, I'm actually pretty pleased with how it turned out. So I don't think it's the best thing I've ever made. I certainly don't think it's the worst. And it was kind of a cool experiment to see what I could do. I definitely think my favorite spot is just like the face and hat in general. I think I just like that composition, and pretty much the whole like sweater background I could do without. Just let me know what you guys think if you enjoyed this and want to see more challenges. It's just, it just is what it is. I'm not, whatever. Have a good day.